Alright, my bad. There we go with Peep though. About to check out the Betrayal of Molly Watson. Like that chapter. The reason why I know this one's about to be hella crazy though, dog. Betrayal, I'm sorry, that's basically another form of spitting on someone. It's so disrespectful. You legit have to hate someone to spit on them, bro. That shit is nasty. But let's say if you was gonna do that in a non-physical way. The way I look at betrayal is like that. I legit have to have so much hate built up for you to betray you, dog. It's a difference between if I was just like, look, yo, it ain't working out, boom, boom, call the shit off, let you know to your face what's wrong, what's going wrong, we hate each other, whatever, go our separate ways. Betrayal is some shit like, I don't know, I lead you. Look, you know the definition. We ain't about to talk about that. My bad. I'm about to do too much talking. I want to check this video out because that word is just a scary ass word to me. You want to check out the original video? Link will be in the description below.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, we got a guy, we got a girl, we got another girl, and then cross one of them out. It's mysterious, like the life a certain Addy led. Though, which one? Because he had two lives. You know, some boyos, they once said, all you need is love. Love is all you need. Well, I'm here to tell you today that is a big fat lie. This story, it very closely resembles another story I very recently told. The one of Heather Garris and Sean Nelson. And this one is actually, it's like a mirror image of it. And it's also very just mad. So,
Dude,
what do you say we
my bad,
give it a go?
Back.
Of it.
Damn, you know what part?
It's also very just mad.
Bro, it's a guy and two girls. I already know where this shit about to go. Jealousy about to play a big part in this, dog. Could be wrong.
Of it. And it's also very just mad. So, what do you say we give it a go?
Let's do it, bro.
Mexico is our home for the most part today. Mexico, Missouri. Missouri again aptly named. This Mexico is in northeast Missouri, about 2 hours from St. Louis, and is the humble abode of almost 12,000 people. It's a nice friendly city, a strong community, and has good amenities, while also being a quiet little place out of the way of the big smoke. It's a place with more cows than people. So, you know what that means. When the inevitable uprising occurs, they're done for. It has its own little airport, pretty much only farms, and its own little haunted house, you guys, where fake killers will spook ya with brains made of spaghetti and that kind of stuff. Well, here, listen. I'm not here today to talk to you about those fake killers, those wannabes. I'm here to talk to you about the actual bees, real killers.
Hi everybody, it's Molly, and today I am just kind of doing a general vlog. I don't really have a point to this, except I do want to update on the video game fitness challenge. I had to replace my Wii Fit meter with a new one because I lost it. I have no idea where it went. I don't know if it fell off when I went on a Pokemon Go walk or what happened. But so far today, my step.
I don't know the story at all. She is kind of winning me though, showing her gamer side, because y'all know I'm a gamer by heart at birth. So maybe she the victim. I don't know.
Pokemon Go walk or what happened. But so far today, my steps are 5,033. I am 34. I work in education right now. I have 2 degrees in psychology, a bachelor's and a master's. I'm working on a third degree, second master's in counseling. And I am very much a huge geek. I hate being called a nerd because, as I have always heard it put, nerds know, geeks do. So I'll catch you guys later. And
I never heard that. Nerds know, geeks do. That's kind of fire. Cause nerds, no, like knowledge. That's hella fire. Cause nerds, they be knowing hella shit. Like they be talking to you, but geeks they really in the field though. Hey, that shit kind of low key fire for like the geeks and nerds. That's like the Crips and Bloods with them niggas. Stop playing, dog. Damn, low key. What if that? All right, we ain't hear about that.
Because, as I have always heard it put,
nigga, geek,
nerds know, geeks do.
Sorry, stop. Go back. I told you this shit get a little ghetto, so I'm sorry.
Always heard it put, nerds know, geeks do. So I'll catch you guys later, and bye! Hi everyone, it's Molly.
Meet Molly Watson, who on YouTube went by Snarky Snarkster. She was, in April 2013, 35 years old, born on the 15th of December, 1982. She grew up in the city of Moberly, Missouri, not a great distance from our Mexico. She was raised with one brother.
I think she the victim, dog. I think I was wrong. I think she got a good ass heart. Legit, she seemed a little too happy, dog. And I know some people that be too happy on YouTube, it be scaring me sometimes, but her smile looked genuine. I ain't gonna cap. Damn.
On the 15th of December, 1982. She grew up in the city of Moberly, Missouri, not a great distance from our Mexico. She was raised with one brother. She also had a sister who sadly passed away as an infant. She'd gotten married in her early 20s. Marriage didn't last terribly long though. After a couple, they split up. However, she did get a son out of the deal and started dating a woman for a number of years before breaking up with her too. Molly attended Columbia College and studied psychology. She then worked as a corrections officer for 4 years in the Missouri Department of Corrections, followed by an occupation as a substitute teacher while she got her master's in educational psychology. And then, when she wasn't making her little YouTube videos or singing little songs or making costumes, she became a business entrepreneur. Shine Spark Polish, let it be known. Business entrepreneur. Shine Spark Polish, let it be known. Designing nail polish collections was her deal. And it was a pretty good one. It seemed to have been taken off. It had a real growing fan base, and she would post frequently on her social media, showing her...
I don't care what you say. 2 top tier videos I love watching, like I cannot scroll past when I go by. I don't care what you say, dog. When people be painting like they nails, but like crazy dope shit, and they be coming out hella, I'm like, damn, that shit came out. But I kid you not, boy, I don't be at home doing it. But I can't help it. My body like it. Shit. And number 2, when people be making cakes, dog. I love watching people make like these dope ass. I ain't talking about them whack ass ones. I'm talking like them dope cakes. We're like, oh my gosh, how you make that? Kind of off topic. My bad. Man, them 2 type of videos I love watching. Though when she was showing her nails, I was like, damn, they should show her painting them real quick. I go to sleep on some ASMR shit on y'all ass.
Deal. And it was a pretty good one. It seemed to have been taken off. It had a real growing fan base, and she would post frequently on her social media, showing her processes and cooking methods and that. So I don't know anything about nail polish, sorry. She was, by all accounts, the person she appears as in her videos. Sweet, caring, kind, and loving. And guess what? Molly was happy. She was happy because she was engaged to the love of her life and was getting married at the end of that month, the 29th of April, 2018. Surrounded by her family and friends, she would tie the knot. She was getting married to her boyfriend of 7 years. You know, after all that, they were like, hey, let's do it. Someone she described in an interview with Color Sutra, the interview about her and Shine Spark, she described her fiancé as the most important person in her life, along with her brother. This was one of Molly's last posts on social media, on her Shine Spark Polish Instagram, telling everyone that...
Damn, so I think I know where this is going. So I was wrong. Yep. Video ain't over yet. Who knows? Cause when he said it was 2 girls involved, I'm like, man, I already know it's about to go. And it's one guy. It's gonna be her friend or something, right? End up probably wanting her husband. I don't know. Let's just watch this damn video.
Social media, on her Shine Spark Polish Instagram, telling everyone that she's going on vacation. She's getting married and then off to the honeymoon from the 27th of April to the 10th of May. Sadly, instead of attending her wedding, her friends and family will be attending her funeral. It was on the 27th of April, right, 2018, that a fellow was driving along Highway 151 and Route... a fellow named Glenn, right? He was looking for a shortcut to his mother's house. This was in a remote part of Monroe County, a county north of Mexico, east of Moberly, a lonely part of the county. Glenn was driving at about 20 past 9 p.m. It was dark, and he was taking a shortcut across a low water crossing. As he was driving, he noticed headlights just a little bit further on from the creek, and he saw a car. The car was a 90s, early noughties car. It was facing him. It was a maroon dark-coloured car, and it was just there in the middle of the road. So Glenn, he got out, and this guy got out, and they approached, and Glenn wanted him to see, because this was a small dirt trail, essentially. It was like, is your car stuck? Stuck in the mud? The man said, interesting, no. I'll be here a while. And then he said more things to Glenn, but the exhaust on this guy's car was so loud, he couldn't hear jack shit. Glenn then backed up and drove off another way along these small little routes and trails between the fields and the farms.
We all need help. Just different kinds. Maybe you need a little. Maybe you need a lot.
I got YouTube Premium. What the fuck? Ain't I not supposed to get ads? Alright, but I'm gonna let his ass play so he can get his revenue real quick anyway, though. Forget it. Boy, I'm looking like, what? I was like, it was just getting good. Boy, what happened? Oh, let's go. Okay. Alright, this was 2 minutes, bro. I ain't gonna cap. I'm gonna skip it.
Glenn thought it was real weird. And so, 30 minutes later, he drove back that way again. Suspicious about the person and what they were doing that night.
Ain't none of your business.
And it was then he saw another car. In front of it, lying on the ground, was Molly Watson.
Oh.
She was dead.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I am at the end of Route M of 151, and there's a woman laying on the ground in front of a car. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
All right, sir, would you mind if you would get out of your vehicle and check on her?
Yes, sir, I will. The ambulance out here. But there's a lady laying in front of the car. I don't know if she's alive, dead, or what.
If you can check on her and give me an update, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Ma'am. Ma'am. Oh, my God. I don't think she's alive, no. Her eyes are open. I swear to God, she's dead.
She had blunt force trauma injuries, and it appeared she had been beaten to death. But it was later determined she had actually been shot once in the back of the head. It was readily apparent to responding officers that they had a homicide on their hands. She was wearing like PJs, a tank top.
Yo, that thumbnail threw me for a loop. With her on that front of that thumbnail smiling like that, and I'm seeing tragedy in the background, I'm thinking the whole time, like, yeah, she the bad one, huh? Alright. She was legit a genuine. She seemed like she was legit a genuine ass person, dog. And I knew it because as I'm watching the video, told you I be putting my foot in my mouth sometimes. I don't care. I don't know the story. As I'm watching the video, and I'm telling you, I know my gamers, dog. I'm like, damn, she legit seemed like she cool people. Now I'm still about to assume the part I think it was a friend on her soon-to-be husband. Don't know though. That might prove me wrong too.
Homicide on their hands. She was wearing like PJs, a tank top, no shoes on. It was apparent just by looking at her that Molly did not expect to be where she was. She looked like she'd just gotten up, from the couch when she was watching like TV or something that night, like she had been in a rush to go somewhere. Her phone wasn't there either, so why she was there. But it was from running the vehicle reg, the vehicle Molly's body was next to, that was her car. And it was running the reg that they discovered who Molly was. They were able to identify her right there and then. And in her car, they even found the marriage license. She was ecstatic about it. She had just gotten it 2 days before she was found on that remote road. And the marriage was to a fella named James Zaddy. Molly had met James when she was a corrections officer in Moberly. James, he was one too. Molly was head over heels for James. He was a little older, 16 years older. But hey, I mean, they stayed together for 7 years, so they were doing A-okay, I guess. Over those years, they went to theme parks, on vacations, everything you would expect for two people who were sharing a life together. James, Jim, a lot of people called him. He was described as a decent guy, a good brother. He had served in the Marines, in Desert Storm. Then he came home, worked as a mechanic, and then as a corrections officer. Marriage, he's quite the fan. He'd been up to about 4 times. He'd been married 4 times. So it was no surprise he was getting married for a 5th.
I ain't trusting that.
I'm
sorry, dog. Don't look. I got one when I do it in my life. If it don't work, I'm done. That's it. That's if I go that route. I'm sorry. I got my opinions on marriage, dog. Don't worry about it. We ain't hear about that. Chill out. Don't worry. I ain't about to ask you what you bring to the table. What you bring it, dog? Come on, stop playing so much.
He's quite the fan. He'd been up to about 4 times. He'd been married 4 times. So it was no surprise he was getting married for a 5th. And he had 2 children, a son and a daughter. Molly's family heard talk about the wedding, like, non-stop. She wouldn't shut up about it, essentially, telling anybody who'd listen. Wow.
Hi everyone, it's Molly. It was bad.
Hey, Molly.
This dress, they had all of my measurements, and they did not make it right. I am only 4'11". I have some unusual measurements, granted, but any seamstress worth their weight should know that if you have someone with very short measurements, you need to compensate for.
Whole time smiling. This story better not make no damn twist.
If you have someone with very short measurements, you need to compensate for that.
Her announcement of her marriage to James was of no surprise. But the what's inside of the family, the what's inside of this relationship, they weren't huge fans of James. They'd only met him like a handful of times, and every time they did meet this James, Jimbo, he was like very standoffish a wee bit, you know what I mean? Didn't like to divulge too much information. When they were getting their marriage license, James said his last marriage had been to a woman named Melanie, and they had been divorced for 6 months by this stage, though separated for years. In fact, a couple of weeks before the wedding, James told Molly that his ex Melanie had just died in a car accident. He'd pulled the plug, and so it was a bad timing, you know. His 4th wife dies just before he marries his 5th. But, on the...
I'm sorry, dog. If you own marriage number 4, you own number 5 if you marry me. I'm not talking about her, I'm saying me. I will be stupid to marry you. Look, this is my opinion on it. If you going on to number 5, fuck it. I was gonna edit it out, but I'm about to talk. I ain't gonna jump cut shit. Well, you gonna see a little jump cut, cause fuck it. I'm calling red flag at this point. I'm sorry. I get it. You're real excited to get married. I don't know where the story gonna go. Chill out. You hella excited. I get it. I don't know if it's just a gamer thing. When we get excited about ish, we get excited about ish. You be wanting to tell everybody it's the best thing in the world. So I get it. But at the same time, a big life move like that, you gotta still see these red flags. If you own a marriage number 5, this is crazy to me, dog. And you tell me the last one ended in a death, I'm instantly taking that as, I don't care if you did it or not, don't care. I'm taking that as you did it, and I don't want nothing with you. You don't get married that many times, but that shit is just, I'm not even a big fan on it. But it doesn't sound human to me. There's probably somebody in here that been married that many times and is doing great, and I'm glad for you. This is just my opinion when it comes to this stuff. I ain't going fully on my opinion on marriage. I told you we ain't hear about that. But I could be wrong. But that's a big ass red flag if I'm wrong or right. I don't care if you about to marry somebody and you about to be number 5 and they tell you the last one dead. Man, come on now. Let's pick up some signs a little bit.
His 4th wife dies just before he marries his 5th. But, on the day Molly breathed her last, James, he was there. He was helping, he was there with the wedding planner, helping bring decorations and carnations to the wedding venue getting ready for the big day. All was going according to plan until that night when Molly was found. Tire tracks were discovered along that road too, right beside Molly in fact, of which pictures and castings were taken. Perhaps would give a clue. She still had a ring on her finger, so she wasn't robbed. And her t-shirt was found nearby. Gunshot residue was on it, and so it appeared that probably the killer had thrown it out, just like Molly's phone, which was found a little bit further along the road.
That's bullshit.
Police then had to break the news to James Addy,
That's bull.
soon to be husband. 2 days before the wedding.
And I'm not saying he did. He may have, may not. I'm leaning towards he did. But what I'm saying is, regardless, that's still a red flag. The hell?
Soon to be husband. 2 days before the wedding. Poor bastard. Doesn't really get much worse than that. He was in for a surprise. And so are the police. As I said, James, he was a big fan of the Yale marriage. So much so that he couldn't even wait for a divorce to get married again. He was ordering ice cream when he was still eating his steak.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, damn, that's 6 months? Okay. I know you've been separated for a while, but okay.
Police rocked up to James Addy's house in our old Mexico. They were a little bit surprised when a woman opened the door. A woman who looked, to James about, she looked about wife age. She was his wife. That's how she introduced herself anyway, as Melanie Addy. His wife of 22 years and mother of his kids.
Hey, don't do that, boy! Pause right. I thought you about to say wife and mother. I was like, oh, hell no! I'm gonna say, if they ain't a red flag for your ass. But he paused. He did that show on purpose.
As Melanie Addy. His wife of 22 years and mother of his kids. She was supposed to be dead. She didn't look it though.
Stop
and
playing,
the news
bro.
about James' fiancée being dead, well, the news of his fiancée full stop, that was, well, interesting to Melanie. When James was interviewed by the police, he readily admitted that he'd been having an affair, and in fact, an affair for 7 years, and he was in fact about to marry another woman, while he was still married and living with his wife of over 2 decades. This had been going on for quite some time, and to quote from the affidavit, he said, "I got myself involved in something I shouldn't have." He had 7 years, so I don't get a lack of opportunity to not do what he'd been doing. But, and as a big booty, he said he hadn't been with Molly that night, so she's dead, Jesus. As I said, when Melanie was questioned, she didn't know what they were on about. Or who the hell Molly even was. She never heard of her. James said during this interview, the interview was on the 28th of April, and he said that the evening before, the 27th, when Molly was shot, he had been out driving. He had been out that night. He'd been driving to a friend's house in Cairo, but he drove out there, and the friend was not there. Damn! If only there was someone to confirm, give him an alibi when he said he'd been out, and he actually had been out with a friend. And they weren't there.
Ooh.
Sucks for him. So the police went to check James's car. And it was in the garage. Melanie said it was odd for James to keep his car in the garage.
He's trying to hide that motherfucker.
It was a maroon Mercury Sable.
And
the
it's
tire
weak.
tread matched.
No, we ain't hear about that. We ain't hear about that. We ain't hear about that, though. He ain't got no Ruchis on that hell. Stop playing. Oh, my shit. But when he said that, I was thinking, like, low-key. Because, like I said, I don't know what happened. So I gotta look at it like, shit, what if he not lying? Like, what if he was like, bro, I don't even know her. Even though I ain't gonna cap see, I don't fully believe it. But still had to, it was still a possibility where it's like, ooh, hold up.
In the garage. It was a maroon Mercury Sable. The tire tread matched the tire imprint found at the scene. It also matched what Glenn had seen when he encountered a stranger on the road. Melanie said that James, had left the house on the 27th of April at about 7 p.m. He'd been wearing a blue jeans, a black jacket, She wasn't entirely sure what time he returned at because she was in bed. She was asleep when he did come in. So we can assume it was late enough. Plenty of time for him to maybe run into someone on the road at about 9:20 p.m. And then Molly was found dead at about 10 p.m. James's daughter, who happened to be home at the time, did notice what time he came in at. See, she was working on a bit of an school project there, and she was on a deadline, so she was staring at the clock, and she said her dad came in just after 10 p.m. When he came in, he went and did the laundry, and then had a wash. The blue jeans and...
Boy, my girl been telling me to do laundry for like 4 days. Anybody just come home and do it at 10 o'clock at night?
black jacket, what Melanie said he was wearing that day, were never found. And he also had a secret phone he kept secret from his wife, Melanie, and when the police got it, they checked the texts. And James had been texting Molly after she was dead. James was arrested for first-degree murder the day before he was supposed to marry Molly. Before he was supposed to marry Molly. The fact that James kept up a 7-year... I mean, it's not even an affair. It's like more than an affair. He was going to get married to this woman.
Damn near a marriage.
She thought. It was insane. How he kept that a secret is fucking bananas. Molly had no clue Melanie was still alive. She'd been told she was dead. That her fiance was living with his wife.
Not like that, just because he just speaks natural to me. Like, he says words that sound like that's on his mind. I like that.
Alive. She'd been told she was dead. That her fiance was living with his wife. Like, neither knew the other was alive or even existed, really. How neither. Fair play to him for, like, keeping it on the hush-hush for that long. I'll give him that. Neither even suspected there was something going on here. Melanie later found a photo album in the attic. A photo album of James's, of, like, all the pictures of him and Molly, and...
Damn.
Well, that'll do it.
He wanted to come to an end. Because he knew he couldn't really marry her because he was already married. So it had to come to an end. Whole time at the beginning of the story, I ain't gonna cap. I'm thinking 2 girls, 1 guy. Boy, I know it's about to be some jealousy ish here. Whole time it is his little ass.
Well, that'll do it.
In April of 2018, 35-year-old Molly Watson was planning the wedding of her dreams. Her beloved fiance, James Addy. And of course, she had her dress. 3, actually. And even one of those specialty-made hangers that said, Mrs. Addy, in curly metal script. It was to be a beautiful and long-awaited celebration of their love.
That's somebody breathing?
There was just one small problem. James Addy was already married to his wife of 22 years, Melanie Addy. On the evening of April 27th, 2018.
Last stop. That's crazy, bro. He was cheating on his wife for so long that he got stuck. The only way out felt like that. That's crazy, dog. He had a whole family at home. Couldn't man up and tell her. At that point, instead of killing someone, I just did some. It's like, bruh, nah, because I'm about to say just do some shit to make her want to break up with him. But low key, that's kind of painful to do to people, cause you really gotta legit hurt people. Obviously, this dude don't give a fuck, but you know what I mean. I couldn't do that neither, though. I think I have to man up and tell my wife I couldn't do it. I couldn't live with that neither. Boy, I know it was hard as hell for him to sleep every night. Not saying I feel bad for him, but I get what happened here. Boy was so tied up in this shit. Only way out was to, you know what, one of them.
On the evening of April 27th, 2018, a choice was made. I am confident that the evidence is going to show you that on April 27th of 2018, James Addy made a choice between his two lives. And I am confident that you will return the verdicts of guilty of murder in the first degree and armed criminal action for the death of Molly Watson. The life he did
Hey,
not
take
choose.
the camera from bro, for real, dog.
For the death of Molly Watson.
This nigga back there eating a chicken sandwich or some shit. Dog, damn, it's out. I can't tell if it's somebody or not. I don't know who that is. My bad.
An armed criminal action for the death of Molly Watson. The life he did not choose. Thank you.
That's just how, like, my uncle, dog. I was like, what the fuck?
James denied murdering Molly, but it appeared that when push came to shove, rather than splitting from Molly before marrying her, he just, killed her. He told Molly that his ex-wife had just died in hopes that it might push back the wedding. Push him from having to make a deadly decision. It didn't. And so it was balls to the wall time. The evidence was the tire treads. They matched. The defense said, that's not scientific. The defense just tried to keep up the...
Hey, bro, don't ever come at me again and talk about, oh, Charlie, you should laugh at. Hey, this boy done made like 30 damn jokes this video.
They matched. The defense said, that's not scientific. The defense just tried to keep up the reasonable doubt angle, as they would. They didn't call any witnesses, they didn't call anything. Molly's phone was later found along the road. It showed that as she drove from her home in Moberly to where she was found in Monroe County, she had been on the phone with James the entire time. It also revealed searches she had done, looking for an obituary for Melanie Addy. Obviously, she never found one. So maybe 2 days before the wedding, she was starting to suspect something. Maybe she confronted him about it and, well... The defense's attempts to discredit the prosecution's case was, feeble. Well, he didn't do it, lads, so, like... Don't know what else you want me to say. Whenever the prosecution would call something, their response was, really though? Did that happen? Really? Yes, it did.
Fill in the gaps. That's what the state of Missouri is going to be asking you to do. Not connect dots, not listen carefully, but fill in the gaps for the state. Because the evidence will show that the state does not have proof beyond a reasonable doubt in this case. He participated in the wedding planning.
I'm sorry. So, Pete, whole time, I'm staring at this black dude, right? And I'm thinking, like, I told y'all, that's like my uncle. And you don't hear the breathing. We get a jump cut. Bro, go on and we hear the breathing. I couldn't hold it no more.
In this case. He participated in the wedding planning. He was still paying. He was dropping off decorations. And that's where the state's case makes no sense.
Oh, sorry. Go back. Oh, sorry.
Paying. He was dropping off decorations. And that's where the state's case makes no sense. At the end of this case, I'm going to get back up, confident that you will find Jim not guilty. Because the state will be asking you to fill in the gaps because it does not have the evidence. It does not have the evidence.
What?
Putting Jim there. It does not have the evidence that this makes any sense at all.
After 2.5 hours, the jury returned its verdict.
I don't know who lawyer he was, but I don't know, bro. I like the suit. No, I think you just sent me to jail, bro. Nah.
Jim there. It does not have the evidence that this makes any sense at all.
Is he
After 2.5 hours, the jury returned its verdict.
Do I have a foreperson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, would you hand the verdict to the marshal there?
This doesn't have the evidence. Look, what up,
Verdict reads as follows. As to count one, we, the jury, find the defendant, James Addy, guilty of murder in the first degree as submitted in instruction number 6. Verdict reads as follows. As to count two, we, the jury, find the defendant.
You can tell. He not built for that jail life, you can tell. I ain't. Man. It's like the situation it's so real that it's scary to me, dog. And I get it, it's true crime. That's what the shit is. That's why it's really scary to me. I'm not here trying to show sympathy for bro at all, because he did what he did. He put them shoes on, did what he did. But that shit can happen to anybody. The way he got so, you ever hear stories about people getting so tangled and stuck in lies? That's why they be telling, like, bro, just tell people the truth, get the shit over with, whatever. When you lie, dog, that shit just go on for so long to the point you get stuck. I read this one quote, it was so damn crazy. It was, I don't remember it exactly, I'm gonna bomb it, but it was like, something about you would tell a lie so long to the point where even you get to believe in it. And I was like, bro, we've all been there before. You human. Don't sit there like you ain't lied before. I've been there before. Luckily, nothing like this serious where you just lie and it's like, dog, I can't tell the truth at this point. And you legit be stuck in that shit. And you be wanting to be like, look, I gotta fix this, boom, boom, boom. But you just know the damage you about to do. That damage is gonna be temporary damage, bro. Everybody's gonna heal. Because, like in this situation, everybody would have lived. It'd have been some broken hearts. Everybody would have lived. Unless one of the women would have flipped out at that point. But it don't matter. That didn't happen, though, so we can't go there. But how is that the answer sometimes? I don't know. Some people get to that answer where it's like, this is the end of the video. We're going to talk a little shit. And it's like, only thing I can do is off you. On top of that, so sloppy with it, too, dog. Bro ain't said not a word. At least we ain't heard not a word. And he looking down the whole time. I can tell, bro. This is legit one of the real life fucking mistakes that you hear about when people tell you, hey, be careful. I want to be mad at him and treat him like a serial killer type of nigga. I want to, and I know you want me to. I'm mad at him, I am. But I get this problem. This is bullshit. I get it, but damn. Rest in peace, Molly, though. And who knows, the story got some more. It might be some shit like Psych, this didn't kill like 30 motherfuckers. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, you know what I'm talking about. This real life is fuck. Crazy, dog. And that's why it's so scary.
Instruction number 6. Verdict reads as follows. As to count two, we, the jury, find the defendant, James Addy, guilty of armed criminal action as submitted in instruction number 8.
I ain't gonna cap.
At sentencing,
just told
he
that
said
woman.
this.
Cross-examinations were either negligible or non-existent. Most statements made by the prosecution were neither questioned nor challenged. To me, Molly was perfect in every way that mattered. I would have done anything to make and keep her happy.
And I legit believe that shit. I could tell he ain't that. I could tell he just got caught up in some shit. Like, fuck.
Way that mattered. I would have done anything to make and keep her happy. Smile.
You killed her, bro?
During the entire course of the trial, I failed to represent anything that I brought forward.
That he loved Molly. He didn't kill her. His defense was worthless and someone else, obviously killed her. And that maybe there had been clues on her social media that someone else did kill her. He specifically mentioned a Facebook post Molly had made a year before her death, in July 2017, saying that someone had tried to get into her accounts. She says, "I suspect it was the unstable individual who attempted to intimidate me with their service weapon by pointing it at me and threatening me when I left the relationship." Who that was? Well, James says it's a killer, and he was sent away for life. And there you go. Another story, of a person leading two lives, and then ultimately having to pick one by killing the other. Regrettably, And without I mean, you know, it's like it's hard to think of a good reason to kill somebody, but this definitely ain't it. Like, my God, what are you thinking? There's a million ways he could have got out of that situation, James.
Exactly, bro. And exactly what's man, just man up. You'd have broke their hearts. Your heart have been broke. Y'all have moved on and lived.
This definitely ain't it. Like, my God, what are you thinking? There's a million ways he could have got out of that situation, James. I don't think killing was a good one. Molly seemed like such a sweet woman. It's a pity she ended up with such a bollocks. Like I said, it's the story of Shauna Nelson, but like from the opposite. Instead of a crazy mistress,
Adios,
you got a crazy mister, who is equally as evil. And so ends the story of Addie the Baddie.
Addie the Baddie.
Thank
All right, wait. So wait, Addie the Baddie as in like him, since that's his original name, like the bad as in bad guy, like Baddie, because wait, oh boy. Or in like Addie the Baddie because, I mean, hey, she was damn near married, so Addie the Baddie. Like, so I don't know, shit. Fuck you looked at. You know what's so crazy that made this one really dope to me, dog? The reason why I kept saying this one is so real life to me, even though I know all the other ones we be watching from like Mr. Ball and that chapter as well, Coffee House, real life, I know that. But it'd be like sometimes the possibility of it happening, you'd be like, oh my gosh, how did you get caught in that? This one, it was so straight to the point. I was expecting those twists. That's why I kept calling. She's like, yeah, this about to happen. Because every story I watch has had some crazy twists that let me down. Like, oh, whole time I thought it was you, bam, bam. And in this one, it was like, nope, legit straight to the point. Bro was doing some bullshit, cheating. You know what happened. Couldn't get out of it. Killed her. She was a good girl. Whole time wouldn't even know twist behind her. I'm looking for the twist, like where it said her. In the thumbnail too, I was like, just tragedy in the background, showing her smiling. I'm like, hell no, let's get to it. Whole time you gonna make me love her, like everybody doing these damn stories. You get to the end, like, psych, that's the killer. And that's why I thought it was going. That's why I was like, this one was so real life. This could happen to any fucking body. You gonna hear me talking and probably take that as, oh, you defend this man? No, I'm not. I already told you what he should have did and what he could have did. I'm talking about the situation in general, dog. This can happen to any damn body. And if, which I do believe, his what was his, I forgot his name already, don't matter, he irrelevant. If his real wife legit didn't know about this, I can imagine what the hell she probably hella dumbfounded, like, what the hell? Not only was you cheating on me, but damn, you killed what the hell? I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know. I don't even know if she had anything in her. Not hear that. We ain't hearing about that. I don't know nothing about that. This one was crazy, dog. Hey, you enjoyed the video? Damn. That was reality, dog. My bad. I'm trying to wrap it up, but that shit was real. Damn, but let's go ahead and wrap up this video, dog. That was some reality, dog. No crazy twist. No jump scares. No, made you think, made you look. Nope. Just human shit happening.